Hi everybody, so this is A.R.S.E, a random son who explains, and today we're going to talk about Thanksgiving, or Colonizer Day, or Indigenous American Day, whatever you want to call it. But so the first Thanksgiving, it wasn't a festival. The first Thanksgiving was the northeastern tribes not letting the Pilgrims starve to death their first winter in North America. So when the Pilgrims arrived, you know, the people with the belt buckle on their head and shit, they weren't the first Europeans, you know. The Spanish had been coming since the 1400s. The Vikings as far back as 1000 AD. Before that, the Phoenicians probably going back as far, maybe as back as 4,000 years ago, and maybe stopping like 2,000 years ago when they were finally conquered by the Romans, which led to the story of the Red and White Brother by the Great Lakes tribes, where interestingly enough, a lot of copper was mined that may have been traded to the Phoenicians and taken back to West Asia to make bronze. Okay, so back to Thanksgiving. So when the Pilgrims arrived, the northeastern tribes already spoke English, having already dealt with Europeans for probably around 150 years at that point. When the Mayflower landed on Plymouth Rock and they got off, they built their first settlement. Those Europeans couldn't hunt or grow food, or they tried to grow the wrong food, and so they didn't have any food that first winter. The northeastern tribes decided to feed them, and that's what I guess the first Thanksgiving was. So originally it was a festival of the harvest, and it fell on the last or the second to last full moon of the year, you know, because like in a calendar year there's 13 full moons. So yeah, the harvest moon is called, which usually falls in November. And there's two in November. It's the second one. Ignore that. That's my turkey. So yeah, the turkey was already here. Squash was already here. Corn was already here. Potatoes already here in North America. I mean, the only thing the Europeans brought was appetite, starvation, disease, and yeah, this whole thing about biting the hand that feeds you, you know, because after the Native Americans fed the Pilgrims, they, you know, turned on them and, you know, helped lead to their eradication. So the first like 50 to 70 years after the Pilgrims arrived, they lived in harmony with the Native Americans. It wasn't until like the second or third generation that they began their having war with the Native Americans. Okay, well, I guess that's my timer to go. I gotta go make sure that, you know, the thing comes out pretty good. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, so the first Thanksgiving wasn't a festival. It was just the northeastern tribes not letting the Pilgrims starve to death. And originally it was a festival of the harvest. So namaste, like, share, and subscribe, and happy Thanksgiving, I guess. Alright, yeah. Peace. See you in the next one.